I'd like to share with you a beautiful Vilna Gaon says about the creation of man. The Torah says that man is created originally, man and women are created as one. They were split and made into two. And the Vilna Gaon asked a very piercing question. Right? It seems as if Hashem, as it were, changed his mind. Right? Originally, man was created as one, and he saw that they couldn't really fulfill their roles properly as one, so he made them into two. And this is puzzling, perplexing at best. Yeah, because God seemingly is perfect. God is definitely perfect and doesn't make mistakes. So what happened here? Says the Vilna Gaon a brilliant answer. He says, really, man and women are meant to be two because each one has a different role in this world, and if they are connected together as one, they'll have a hard time fulfilling those roles. But Hashem wanted them to have tremendous ava and loving and caring for each other. So creating them as one, that's their prototype, as it were. That's where they stem from. That's their source as one. And they should realize that really they're one. Husband and wife should realize one. The beautiful statement that was once made by Rav Aya Levine, our leg hurts. Our leg hurts. Because they reached such a level of oneness that they were um, really actually one, right? And they could feel each other's pain. Beautiful, beautiful concept from Aya Levine. It was the paradigm of sensitivity and caring, and we all should emulate that. I just want to share with you a very, very deep idea that was that I saw this morning on the Kisvei Arizal, and the Arizal says like this. He says, in the highest levels in Shemayim, we know that there is Zachar and Nekeva, and Zachar and Nekeva are two different elements, the element of giving and the element of taking. And the Zachar is usually coming to fix the side of Nekeva. The male and the female sides. So says the Arizal, though, that when you reach the highest level in Shemayim, the Zachar and Nekeva are actually one, right? And they are in total tandem. They're completely working together, and there's no period between them at all, right? There's no period. And to the point where it's like one entity. It goes back to the state of prior to what's called in the Sira, the splitting of Adam and Chava into two, and it's just complete tikkun of Zachar and Nekeva together. This led me to a very, I think, true idea that we could all apply in our relationships, in marriage, um, as follows: that um, men and women, they both have tremendous miles and tremendous chesronos, each one. And the point is that the chisronos, the things which a man is lacking, he gets from being married to a woman, and things that a woman is lacking, she gets from being married to a man. So a man, through marriage, is supposed to become more caring, more sensitive, more giving, more kind, more. I don't want to use the word inclusive, but more. Uh, as Rav Shimon Shkop says in Shai Osher, his kamocha becomes greater. Alter kamocha, like yourself. His self becomes expanded, as David HaMelech says. The Hotzia Mimaskunashi, the confines of himself are expanded to the point where eventually we want all the Jewish people to be in your sense of self. So through marriage, the Zachar really becomes more Nekeva. He's making the milas, the benefits of female, become part of him, and hopefully his wife doing the same thing, right? By being married to a man, which is really, really hard for a woman, as it is for a man. Both of them are hard because they are opposites, as the Tosas Rid says that there's not one common denominator between a man and a woman, right? And there's a reason for that, right? All the good things that a man is lacking, a woman has them, and she can give them to a man. And the perfect relationship really is when the man through marriage perfects his masculinity, brings the feminine side into it, and the feminine brings the side of the man. And this, says the Arizal, right, on a spiritual level, is the highest level in Shemayim, which we spoke many times about Atik. Atik says the Arizal is one. The male and female side is one. In the lower levels of spirituality, of Arich and Chochmah and Bina and Son, so it's two. But the highest level of spirituality that's possible to reach, Atik, spoken about many times, is all one. The Zachar and Nekeva is one. And this is really the goal of marriage. The goal of marriage is the man should, like it should be the paradigm flip, it's a twist, that everything negatively masculine about him, right? Being too aggressive, maybe, being too self centered, being too insensitive, all of these things, by being married to his wife, he should change and work on himself and incorporate the nekeva into his zachras, and so too the woman should incorporate the zachras into the nekeva. When they do that, they're emulating. That's really that's really going in his ways. They're emulating God on the highest level of spirituality that's revealed to us in this world of Atik, which we can emulate and go with that. This is a great advantage of being married and appreciating marriage. Now, it could be that if a man is not functioning properly in his marriage relationship, or same thing for a woman, is that maybe like there's sparks and maybe there's fighting and other unpleasant things that might be going on. Um, and it could very well be just he's not or she's not taking the relationship in the right way. In other words, even though it should not be that a man is trying to fix his wife and a wife's trying to fix her husband, as Rav Safrani told me from Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, he said each one should work on themselves and their issues. But for the man, um, working on his relationship with his wife, that should bring him to perfect the negativity in his personality, right? Um, and the woman the same thing. And if they're not taking on that challenge, if they haven't accepted that challenge upon themselves, then they might find that a lot of negative things are happening because the uh, the reverberations of not accepting this responsibility on yourself. So that's the natural hashlochot, natural feedback will happen. So therefore, each and every one of us, we should try in our relationships, whether it be with our spouse or our parents or our sister or whoever it might be, you know, um, in the male-female relationships that we have, that we're allowed to have. All of them should be for the men, it should be to be taken to fix up their negativity through them, and for the women to fix up what they have to fix up. And we should reach this high spiritual level where the female and the male are really one. As I pointed out in a previous class, I believe that's why today in society this idea of one gender is coming down into the world. There is a hashpah of kedusha as we get closer to Mashiach, that really the point is to have one gender, is to reach Atik. It's just as the Arizal reveals that for every kedusha there's a tuma, and there's a parallel tuma. All of this gender garbage is a parallel tuma that's coming about as a result of the kedusha, which is coming down to this world as the world is getting ready, preparing for Mashiach. So we should hopefully not be drawn in by that, um, by that, by that, by all that's going on, but rather we should understand what's really happening is that it's a call to action for every man to work on himself and every woman to work on herself, so we could be properly ready to greet the Mashiach quickly. Amen. Kain Teretza.